All right, so we're taught to believe that if we work for 45 years, that we will get a retirement of 20 years of nothing but travel and excitement. Well, it doesn't actually work that way all the time. For some, it does work out that way, but for a lot of us, it probably won't. The first reason for that is tomorrow is not a given, right? Your health can go bad in a hurry. I spent the first year of my retirement, I spent 3 months pretty much rehabilitating from a head injury. Yeah, the reason I wear a hat all the time because my hair's still growing in. They had to cut into my head 4 times. And that left me pretty much to where I couldn't do much traveling or anything like that. I was kind of in limbo. Luckily, I'm doing much better now. As a matter of fact, I just yesterday got released from my neurologist, and I shouldn't have to go see him anymore, but I had a subdural hematoma, which is kind of a brain bleeder, but we're all over that now and we're good to go. So I'm going to start enjoying my retirement again. And as you can tell from the way I'm talking in my YouTube videos, I'm doing a whole lot better now. So anyway, your health is not a given. So tomorrow is never given to you. You need to take advantage of today. The other thing that can happen is life can get in the way. Now, for instance, I had a personal experience with that as well. My wife and I were getting ready to retire. We were, between that 58 and 59 years old, looking at 59 and a half, going ahead and retiring. And guess what? Life got in the way. It got in the way by having to take care of a 3.5-year-old toddler. Yeah, for 2 full years. And you know what? We loved our little niece, and we were glad that we could take care of her and that we could help the family out by giving her a place to live for a couple of years while her father got back on his feet. But it detoured our retirement plans for probably about a year and a half. I ended up not retiring until I was 61, and that was pretty much due to having to take care of this little girl. Like I say, very glad we did it. The whole family is very appreciative of it. We feel better about it. She's doing great. Her father's doing much better. And, we're glad we could do it, but life got in the way of the first few years of retirement. And another thing, you never know what's going to happen is, we could get in financial distress. And it could happen. You could have this plan that you're going to retire on this date, and then all of a sudden a war breaks out or something that puts you in financial distress. And that can be a hardship if you don't take care of your asset allocation and make sure that your investments can ride through that type of incident. So make sure that you're always adjusting your asset allocation and rebalancing your nest egg. Even when you're still working and you're in your 401k, 403b, or your IRA, make sure you're rebalancing that so you stay in the right asset allocation. And if you don't know what an asset allocation, that's basically the ratio of stocks to bonds. Like I try to stay in a 60-40 where I have 60% stocks, 40% bonds and other things, cash, other assets like that. Now, what you can also do is you can get a financial advisor to build you a custom plan just for you. Make sure it's a fee-only fiduciary financial advisor, because there are some out there who say, yeah, I'll build you a plan for free. Be careful of a free plan. Nothing is free, and they may not be, a fiduciary, which means that they're going to take care of you, and they are obligated to put your needs in front of theirs, and they don't sell commission type products. So I would suggest go ahead and just paying someone to build you a retirement plan and go through that process with you, and that'll help out. So possibly, instead of thinking of retirement as a big, long 20-year vacation, maybe you should think of retirement as freedom from the 9-to-5 grind, because it's getting harder and harder and harder to have that retirement in which you don't have to work anymore. A lot of people are retiring and they're having to work a little bit on the side the first few years just to get by. And especially if you're going to retire early before you're ready to take your Social Security, you may need to supplement your income a little bit. So think of retirement more as freedom from working for other people. It could be, crafting, different hobbies and things that you can generate money with. YouTube channel. Although this isn't generating any money yet, it normally takes about a year to kind of get a channel kicked off and start making some money with it. And this is my second channel, so I know what I'm talking about with that. My other channel is making money on the side, and I'm trying to get this one built up to that point. But there are different things that you can enjoy, like I enjoy the photography and the videography of making videos. So, making these YouTube videos really isn't much like work for me. It's more like a hobby. So you can find ways like that. You can open up an Etsy shop, refinishing furniture or knickknacks, things like that, just reselling things. Other things you can do, if you're by yourself and you just want some social connections, you could try some ride sharing with Uber or Lyft or something like that, where you're in communication with people now and again, giving them rides. And it pays pretty good. And sometimes retirement really isn't the answer. If you were like me, it sounded really good in my 50s to retire early, in my earlier 50s, like when I was 55, but it didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I was getting 5 weeks of vacation a year. The pay was pretty good. I wasn't coming home stressed anymore. I had been there for, at that point in time, let's call it 14, 15 years. So I had kind of built up my workflow so that I wasn't stressed anymore. I kind of knew what was coming. I had my daily routines and I could just go to work. With that said, what we did do was 10 years before we retired, we actually bought a motorhome. Not a big Class A, not a big fancy one, but just a smaller Class C motorhome. And we utilized those 5 weeks of vacation for traveling. And we really, really had some great trips. I picked up fly fishing on the way. So, we took a lot of trips fishing. We went and visited people. We went up to Wyoming, visited family at least once or twice a year. And, just had a lot of fun in that motorhome. And so, going to the full retired, I'm going to get rid of my job thing isn't always the answer. Take a look at your current situation. If you have a lot of vacation and if you can make your work environment, something that isn't so bad, kind of like I did, stick around for a few more years. Okay, so for me, building my nest egg up to where I was able to retire was mainly through consistency. I didn't borrow against, well, I did once. I took a small loan against my 401k, but I didn't borrow against my savings. I didn't fluctuate, how much I put in. I just left it and, gained a little bit every year with my raises and things like that. I would chip a little bit more in and just stayed really consistent with my savings. But what I also didn't do is I didn't sacrifice a lot. Like I say, my wife and I, we lived pretty much the way we wanted to live. Obviously, the work thing got in the way from traveling, but again, we jumped in our motorhome and we went and we traveled after we were empty nested in our 50s and just had a lot of fun doing that. So don't sacrifice everything for your retirement. Stay consistent. And I'm not a professional. I'm not a financial advisor. But I would suggest that you go out and get a fiduciary financial advisor to help you and customize a plan just for you. So I hope this video's helped you. And if it has, I'd appreciate it if you reach down, hit that like button, and watch this video next.